In the heart of the Igbo land, where the lush green forests met the flowing rivers, there lay the village of Amukpa. The villagers were hard-working and deeply connected to the land and the water that sustained them. However, lurking beneath the tranquil waters of the great river was a force both beautiful and terrifying: Uhamiri, the water spirit. Uhamiri, known by many names such as Ogbanje and Mamiwata, was a spirit of incredible beauty and seductive power. She resided in the depths of the river, her domain a place of shimmering light and ethereal beauty. Uhamiri had the power to bestow wealth and prosperity upon her devotees, but woe to those who crossed her or failed to appease her properly. In the village lived a man named Mike, a fisherman who was known for his skill and dedication. Mike was a handsome young man with a kind heart, always willing to lend a hand to those in need. He was deeply in love with his wife, Neka, a woman of grace and beauty. Together, they lived a simple but happy life by the riverbank. One fateful day, as Mike cast his nets into the river, he felt an inexplicable pull. The water around him seemed to shimmer and glow, and from the depths emerged Uhamiri. She was stunning, with long flowing hair that glistened like water and eyes that reflected the river's depths. Her skin was pale, with a soft, ethereal glow, and she wore a dress made of translucent, water-like material that flowed and shimmered as she moved. "Mike," she called, her voice like the soothing rush of the river. "Come to me." Mike, entranced by her beauty, waded into the water until he stood before her. "Who are you?" he asked, though deep down he knew the answer. "I am Uhamiri, the spirit of these waters," she replied. "I have watched you, Mike, and I know of your hard work and your kindness. I can offer you wealth and prosperity beyond your wildest dreams." Mike was tempted. He thought of his wife and how much better their life could be with Uhamiri's gifts. "What must I do?" he asked. Uhamiri smiled, a smile that was both enchanting and foreboding. "You must promise to honor me, to bring me offerings, and to never betray my trust. In return, I will bless you and your family with riches and good fortune." Mike agreed, and from that day on, his fortunes changed. His nets were always full, and his wealth grew. He and Neka moved into a beautiful new house, and they wanted for nothing. However, Mike never told Neka about his pact with Uhamiri, fearing her reaction. For a while, everything seemed perfect, but the allure of wealth and prosperity began to change Mike. He became more obsessed with his riches and less attentive to Neka. He spent more time by the river, offering gifts to Uhamiri and basking in her presence. The villagers noticed the change in him, whispering among themselves about the source of his sudden fortune. Neka, too, sensed something amiss. She confronted Mike one evening as he prepared to leave for the river. "Mike, where are you going? Why do you spend so much time by the river?" Mike, feeling trapped, lashed out. "It's none of your business, Neka. Just enjoy the life I have provided for you." Hurt and confused, Neka began to watch Mike more closely. One night, she followed him to the river and witnessed his meeting with Uhamiri. She was horrified to see her husband kneeling before the water spirit, offering gifts and pledging his loyalty. Heartbroken, Neka confronted Mike when he returned. "You have betrayed me, Mike. You have made a pact with a spirit and kept it from me." Mike tried to explain, but Neka would not listen. She felt the sting of betrayal deeply and distanced herself from him. The love that once bound them began to unravel, and the harmony in their home was shattered. As Mike struggled with the consequences of his actions, Uhamiri watched with satisfaction. She thrived on the turmoil she caused, drawing strength from the pain and suffering of those who crossed her path. Mike realized too late that his pact with Uhamiri had brought him not just wealth, but also misery and despair. The village of Amukpa, once a place of peace and prosperity, now echoed with the tension and conflict brought by Uhamiri's seductive power. In the wake of the revelation about Mike's pact with Uhamiri, the village of Amukpa found itself engulfed in a cloud of suspicion and fear. The once respected fisherman was now a man shunned by many, seen as one who had brought misfortune upon himself and those around him. Neka, his beloved wife, was devastated by the betrayal, her heart torn between love for her husband and the pain of his deception. As Mike wrestled with his guilt and the consequences of his actions, a new character entered the story, Chibuzo, an ambitious and cunning man who had always been envious of Mike's success. Chibuzo, with his rugged appearance and slightly unkempt hair, saw an opportunity to exploit the situation for his own gain. He wore a mask of concern and sympathy, but his eyes gleamed with jealousy and greed. "Mike," Chibuzo said one day, approaching him by the river, "I heard about your troubles. Perhaps there is a way to turn this around. You see, I know of a powerful sorcerer who can break the pact with Uhamiri. It will cost a great deal, but isn't your peace of mind worth any price?" Desperate and hopeful, Mike agreed to seek the sorcerer's help. They journeyed to the edge of the forest, where the sorcerer, an old man with piercing eyes and a knowing smile, awaited them. "I can help you," the sorcerer said, "but breaking a pact with a spirit like Uhamiri is no simple task. It will require a great sacrifice." Mike hesitated, but eventually agreed. The sorcerer gave him a talisman and instructed him to throw it into the river at midnight, but warned him that Uhamiri would not relinquish her claim easily. "Be prepared for a confrontation," the sorcerer advised. "She will not let you go without a fight." That night, as the moon cast a silver glow over the river, Mike stood at the water's edge, the talisman in hand. He took a deep breath and threw it into the river. Immediately, the water began to churn and bubble, and Uhamiri emerged, her eyes blazing with anger. "Mike," she hissed, her voice like a crashing wave, "you dare to break our pact?" Mike stood his ground, though fear gripped his heart. "I have made a mistake, Uhamiri. I seek to end this. I want my life back, my love back." Uhamiri's expression softened momentarily, but then her features twisted with fury. "You cannot simply walk away from me," she spat. "You will pay for your betrayal." At that moment, Chibuzo stepped forward from the shadows, his face twisted with a mix of arrogance and anticipation. "Uhamiri," he called out, "I am the one who deserves your blessings. I can give you the loyalty and devotion Mike could not." Uhamiri turned her gaze to Chibuzo, assessing him with a predatory gleam in her eyes. "Very well," she said, a wicked smile curling her lips. "But first, you must prove your worth." Chibuzo, confident in his cunning, agreed without hesitation. Uhamiri summoned a surge of water that enveloped him, testing his resolve and strength. Mike watched in horror, realizing the true extent of Uhamiri's power and the depth of Chibuzo's treachery. As Chibuzo struggled against the water's embrace, Neka arrived at the riverbank, drawn by the commotion. She saw her husband facing the wrath of the water spirit, and Chibuzo caught in Uhamiri's trap. With a surge of determination, she stepped forward. "Uhamiri," Neka cried out, "release them both. This has gone too far." Uhamiri's eyes narrowed. "And why should I listen to you, mortal?" Neka held up the amulet that Adaora had once given her, the same amulet that had protected her in times of need. "Because I know the power of love and forgiveness. I know that true strength lies not in vengeance, but in mercy." Uhamiri hesitated, the glow of the amulet reflecting in her eyes. For a moment, the spirit seemed to waver, torn between her anger and the truth in Neka's words. Finally, with a sigh, Uhamiri released her hold on Chibuzo, and the river calmed. "Very well," Uhamiri said, her voice softer but still tinged with sadness. "You have shown me the strength of your heart, Neka. Mike, you are free from our pact, but remember the lesson you have learned here. Wealth and power come at a price, and true prosperity is found in love and harmony." With that, Uhamiri vanished into the depths of the river, leaving the villagers in awe and relief. Mike, overwhelmed with gratitude and remorse, embraced Neka. "I am so sorry, Neka. I lost sight of what truly matters." Neka hugged him tightly. "We can rebuild, Mike. Together, we can find our way back to happiness." Chibuzo, humbled and shaken, slinked away, his greed and jealousy having led him to near ruin. The village of Amukpa slowly returned to its former peace, with Mike and Neka at the heart of its recovery. They shared their story, a tale of love, betrayal, and redemption, ensuring that the lessons they learned would be remembered for generations. As the story of Uhamiri, the seductive water spirit, comes to a close, we are left with a powerful message. True wealth is not measured by material possessions, but by the strength of our relationships and the love we share. The villagers of Amukpa learned this lesson well, and their story became a timeless reminder of the power of forgiveness and the importance of staying true to one's heart.
I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your family and friends. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below so we can all learn together. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more enchanting stories. See you next time.